So, this bonus episode is all about one of the Revolutionary Society members who has a really big project coming up that's going to take her out of the country for about 3 weeks, which means she's going to have to push her big launch of her program back. However, everyone still needs a cash injection and she still needs revenue coming in. So, she had an idea to put out a package of services that would kind of be a little lead in into her bigger offer and hopefully kickstart her launch and generate revenue. In this episode, you're going to hear how I walk through what's really going on with the members first and understand their situation to try to get them to still do their main goal. In this case, could she possibly still launch her offer and have some momentum built up that she can carry into her launch and automate it via email sequences? That was one of the first things that I threw out to her. Turns out she doesn't have an email list that would work for that. She doesn't convert that way. So we had to regroup and really hone in on what this package could look like leading into her main offer. So take a listen to this episode, and at the end, I'll do a little recap of what you heard. You've been busy. I mean, the summer has been summering for you.
Oh my God, way too much. That's the problem. And now I feel
You're like in a program, you've been traveling, your kids have been in every state that they could get in.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm ready to get to work though. I'm trying to get to work and catch up on all the things. So I am not in a place that Priyanka's in at all, 0%. And ain't nothing done. So we need to start getting shit done. Okay. So, all right. So I have the thought of having a launch. However, I have that thing, Letitia, that I told you might be coming up, which will then not allow me to pretty much do anything for at least 3 to 4 weeks in mid-September through mid-October. So that's like 3 to 4 weeks. And so what I'm thinking is try to get as organized as I can around the launch, but like actually launch after that, which is now pushing my like time frame around. But the truth is that I will not have capacity or the potential even to do any work really during those 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm a little bit confused around how to do that properly, but I feel like I just want to start doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is like at least pre-launching. And I'll just have a longer time to talk about what I need to talk about. So
technically, what would the dates be? You said mid-September through October.
Yeah, September 20th through October.
Oh, pull some shit off before September 20th. We can pull some shit off before the week before that because you're going to be busy prepping. I mean, it's giving 2 full weeks.
You can launch. You could definitely.
You sure can. And your offer isn't new. I can see if you have some new shit that no one's ever heard of, but this isn't brand new. We can pull some shit quick.
Okay.
So, okay. I feel like, yes, you are going to be 1000% out of pocket, but you don't need to. You can live off the momentum if you do stuff now for the next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks straight. You can live off that momentum and then let email and some back end shit kind of take over the rest. So, and also, how many people are on your email list right now?
None. Like
negligible.
Yeah,
So email isn't really currently a place that you can sell to people right now.
Email has never really been a place that I get anybody doing much of anything. They don't click, and they read it religiously. They be reading, but they don't do anything. So IG is definitely the where I get my clients from. So I'm recognizing that I need to like be showing up and be more consistent there, which is not an issue. I did go through your launch, all the videos, like all the stuff that I've missed in the last few weeks, and
the different ways and different approaches and all that.
So I have my story. I have the I feel like I should. I feel like yes, thank you.
Buyer's journey or something. Client
awareness
map.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm getting clearer and clearer on that and sort of what I want to focus on. I did read your feedback saying to focus on communication. I actually want to focus on that communication is not actually your problem, and it's what is causing the bad communication that's your problem.
Okay.
So I have sort of like the pieces in place now. I just really want to put it all together. My other thought is that I was thinking, and this is where like I need some strategic help, guidance, is people seem scared of jumping into 6 months. I don't know why. So I was playing with the idea of doing sort of like a 3-session sort of like intro thing, and that price of that gets absorbed into the bigger program if they then do the bigger program, because I think a lot of people, the feedback that I'm hearing is that they just don't know what they would do. I mean, I can I guess I have to explain that better. What would happen over the
I was
course?
gonna say it's how you're talking about it. A therapist, a couples counselor doesn't tell the couple how long they're gonna be coming to therapy. You just keep showing up and they're like, see you next week. So do you feel like you're spending time and messaging on telling them how long it's gonna be and making that a big part of your marketing and your branding or anything? So when is it that they say, oh, 6 months is a long time?
They're just like not clear on any of it, right? So whereas with therapy, it tends to be open-ended, so they can go to one session and decide they don't want to do it anymore. They feel kind of locked into this idea of 6 months. So I'm actually now trying to say it less as in 6 months, as in this many, like this amount of time that we have to work together, like this many sessions, over this many sessions, rather than like locking them into this like idea of, and it has to start and end within that 6 months. You know what I mean? I think that rigidity is, and I've been seeing that in my renewal clients, because pretty much everyone has renewed, and the conversation that's happening in renewal is like, well, do we need another 6 months? And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at it as this many sessions, this many solo sessions, this many sessions as a couple. This is what I think we need to work on. This is what we need to impact. This is why I'm saying this many solo sessions and this many couple sessions. And then they seem to be at peace with that. So there's something around like the 6 months, there's something around like that rigidity that like somehow is not translating. So I'm not really sure how to articulate that, which is why I was like, maybe there's like 3 sessions and then you get a taste of what this is. And then if that's like $1,000, for example, then that gets absorbed. And
I
then
like that.
continue, then that 750 just gets absorbed into Renaissance, but you still get the whole Renaissance program.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Okay.
3 sessions kind of like become bonus.
Okay, I like that. I think that that might be easier to sell then, and then gets them in the door. Then you can automate the rest of the process to tell them like, hey, we did our sessions. I feel like for people that you think should continue on, I think we should continue on. Here's how that process would work. Let's get you to the next session. And here's the code that automatically knocks off what you've already invested so that you can jump in. I like that. I feel like that's quick, easy to sell. What are you going to call it? Like, what are you going to like position it as? Like, are they getting a refresh or are they getting like what's happening by the time?
This is like, I guess, my reset. So I have
Okay, I like that.
Renaissance,
Yep.
Reset, and then Rewired, which was my PQ
I
stuff.
love the names. I love the brand and the evolution of it. Okay, so this is the reset.
So this is
So then you need to have a theme around that. So what are they resetting?
basically whatever is sort of the most presenting issue. So if that's like connection, then we're going to work on that. So whatever they
So then I would highlight, you need to pick, you need to have bullet points of what their options are for resetting. I would do that for like a strategy session. You have to have, things so that they know there's, oh, yep, we need that one. You want them to come into the sale knowing which one that they need to reset.
Okay. And so then would I be focusing on sort of marketing that and not Renaissance, the bigger program, but also talking about all of the things that can happen in Renaissance? Like, how would I market that? Like, how do I position myself then?
They go together, right? So essentially one leads to like is the beginning of Renaissance helping them to start with the reset and then the fix or
No, because in Renaissance, we start really with like sort of the first stage is called Inner Worlds Exploration, and we really dive into each of their stories. Like we do like a lot of childhood work and like trauma work around that stuff.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be able to do that in a 3-session situation with people, right? Where we were talking about a particular issue. So it would almost be like slowing down into Renaissance and actually getting to the root, like starting to dissect what's going on up here, which is what we would do in Reset, and then going under the surface in Renaissance to like figure out why it's really happening and how to prevent it from continuing to happen.
So then by you saying that, what you need to position how the reset is a really good starting place for couples because they'll be in a better and probably more receptive and more open coming into Renaissance because they would have had this reset and they would have at least understood this is what's causing the issue. Like if they can't identify what the issue is, it's going to be hard for them to accept any solution to solve it. So I think you position your reset as an opportunity to figure out what is really the issue so that you can stop blaming one another and we can blame the issue instead. I like that. I'm saying it like I'm sold. I would buy it. Let's stop blaming each other and blame this other thing.
So what I'm hearing you say is just go ahead and sell, right? So my thing, if I'm doing, I think I'll just land at 3 sessions, 750, and then be specific about what we would do in those sessions, like what kind of, I guess, outcome oriented is what I'm going to be looking at, right?
Yep.
what type of outcomes, like sort of short-term outcomes. So just for my own clarity, I'm focusing on that and I'm not really selling the bigger program at the moment, right?
I just wouldn't stress myself out.
Okay.
That means I would focus on what I think is easier to sell and then just have a process to upsell them after. So good client experience, recommend that they keep working with you, and now you'll know what to sell them on. Hey, I'm glad we did these 3 sessions. The biggest thing that we discovered is this is the issue. In this program, we'll be able to do X, Y, and Z, and this will address such and such for her, and such for him, and such for your relationship. And then that should be an easy sell for a good percentage of those people. I would aim for, like, if you can get 50%, 25%, just start making some goals for who you want, how many people you want to try to convert from people who are coming from that lower offer, and try to get that to be most of the people that you need for your program. And then when you're done with your project, then you can finish and do an actual launch.
Okay. So this will sort of sustain me and probably
This will sustain you,
messaging
cash injection, possible upsell. So that's client retention. That's easier sales. No content is required for that publicly for retention. So now that takes some pressure off where you can schedule emails,
Yeah. And my content would be just directed again at these particular outcomes that would come from doing these sessions and not sort of the bigger picture storyline and all that.
You're a relationship coach, so you're still talking about things that benefit a relationship. And if people need the longer thing, they're not going to not do it just because you're publicly marketing some small thing. They're going to say, "Oh, I already know I need more than that. I know I have this," but some people just want the quick thing. When I talk about my strategy sessions, they still will book a content clarity scan. They're like, "I don't need that. I need more than that. I want the full ordeal." Or when people start the sales conversation, when they're asking you questions and I pry, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's not going to happen in 2 hours. You need the other thing. I'm not going to do all your content just because you booked a strategy session. I can tell you what I think you should cover, but I won't do your content. You have to book the content clarity scan for that." Easy sale. I had someone DM me when I was having that promotion during my business anniversary in July, and she was like, "So should I do this one or this one? Because I want." And I said, "Oh, well, this one comes with this, but this one comes with this." She said, "Oh, I need that one." And I said, "Okay, then we do that one." You get to maneuver your sales conversation. So be open to not just go straight to buy this. Sometimes if you have questions, let me know. And then those people, those are the upsell people.
Gotcha. Okay. That's helpful. Thank you.
So as you can see, we ended up deciding on the packages, how she was going to position it, how she could upsell those package clients into her main program, which should actually take away some of the pressure of her launch by allowing her to be able to have enough of those people upgrade, and then she doesn't need as many clients in a big launch when she comes back. So she's going to come back really feeling good from her trip because she has a really cool project, and come back already having clients that she served for her smaller offer, and then have some of those already converted into her big program. She's not going to feel like she's starting her launch from scratch. She's going to feel like, "Oh, I'm starting my launch from a really good place," which is really fun. Thank you for joining me for this bonus episode, and stay tuned for the next one.